Here we are, friends. Here we go. It's another day in paradise on the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 8 minutes after 3 o'clock. Happy to have you with us this Thursday, January 29, 2026. We've lots to get into and 4 short hours to get it all in. I'm glad you're here. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that you're making it, especially for those of you without power. And I know there are many of you listening to us right now that currently are without, and I'm sorry for that. I wish that there was more that we could do for you. We're going to try to do our best to get you valuable information that might be of a timely nature and do so in a way that apparently NES can't manage to do it. We've got lots of different storylines to break out with regard to the power outages that continue to plague much of the Metro Nashville area. Sad to report that there's no relief in sight for some of you. And sad to report that there's no relief in sight in terms of communication practices when it comes to Nashville Electric Service. We're going to try to break all of that down for you. Take your telephone calls at 615-737-9986. If you have any information that you believe is valuable on a 100,000-watt radio station or on the various platforms that we find ourselves on a day-to-day basis, then you're invited to call in the show or super text if you are of the shy type. If you're the shy type and don't want to call us, you're welcome to super text the show at the same number, 615-737-9986. Obviously, I'm the host of these proceedings until 7 o'clock. Jackson Williams controls the rest of the broadcast, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. We appreciate his work. He's busy in there. There's Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living. He delivers those twice an hour and when it breaks. And there's been a lot of breaking news over the last week or so. Ken, how you doing back there?
Doing all right, man, and they're getting ready to wrap up this press conference.
Is that ongoing?
Yeah, it's ongoing. The CEO, Teresa Boyles-Applin, is basically just telling everybody that, you know, their number one goal is to get power restored, and they're working tirelessly, and she keeps saying the same thing over and over again. There's a gentleman who says that they're going to have to wrap up the press conference. The vice president of operations, Brent Baker, was basically handling most of the questions. And I can tell you the media there in the room, including Channel 4's Jeremy Finley, were asking very poignant questions, especially about whether or not they had a plentiful stockpile of poles to replace those that have been destroyed by the storm, and they did not have an answer. They said that they will have to go back and get that answer. We really ought to play this entire thing.
Do you have it?
I've got it.
All right.
I mean, we can set a time and maybe.
I want to play it. I know. I think the listeners need to hear it. I've not heard all of it. Can we play? I mean, how long was it, Ken?
It's run at least 20 minutes.
Okay. No, I think
I just need to get some stuff. Kind of fix it up.
What about, would 3:35 give you enough time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So right after the bottom of the hour news at 3:35, we're going to rack and air the press conference with Brent Baker, our good friend Brent Baker, who was on with us early in the week, a couple of times, as a matter of fact. I think didn't we have him on Monday and Tuesday.
And then we were supposed to have him on yesterday
and they canceled.
At 5:05. They canceled at 5:03.
Right, saying he was in a meeting or something or another.
Yes.
And then now, so Jackson has news on this front. So this morning, Jackson and I communicated. Believe it or not, we talk about the show before the show airs. And I said to Jackson, hey, we need to hit up NES and have Brent Baker back on today to try to answer some of these questions that are very important to the people without power. And tell me how that went, Jackson.
I was told directly he is unavailable for any interviews today.
So he's unavailable. So press conference, all good. Interviews, not so good. Okay. All right. So for those of you who have power, we're going to air the press conference. Thankfully, we have the ability to do that. So maybe we can get you some information with questions being asked from the assembled press. But think about this for a moment. This is how dumb these people have become. People that need this information more than anyone are people without power. People without power, unless they have a generator, maybe they do, maybe they don't. We're most focused on those that don't, are we not? We should be. And those people don't have an ability to watch a television press conference. Those people don't have an ability to watch TV at all. One way or the other, the controlled nature of the environment of the press conference is one thing. Brent Baker telling us, oh, we're not doing any interviews today. That's another thing. It's my understanding they don't have a communications team at Nashville Electric. They have 460,000 customers. They decided that 200 linemen or 265 linemen, the figure floats. They say 200 linemen, they say 200 crews. They say, I've seen 365 linemen, I've seen three. One way or the other, they had a woefully inadequate number of individuals staged pre-storm. That we know. Can you not just be a little contrite? I don't know. Maybe they were. I'm going to hold my water until I listen to this press conference along with you at 3:35 that just wrapped up. Mayor Freddie O'Connell is answering questions, talking about the storm aftermath. I was in contact with the mayor's office today. They're working on a time where he can get back on. Obviously, a lot of the questions that I'm asking the mayor's office, they have the same questions that they're trying to figure out from the Nashville Electric Service. Oh, but never you fear, friends. She's put out a statement and answered questions before the assembled press today. She being Teresa Broyles-Applin, who is the CEO and president of Nashville Electric Service. And I'm going to read this presser or this statement that she issued this morning via social media platforms. Once again, I'm told they don't really have a communications team over there, much less a crisis communications team over there. Well, they need one. Now, I'm also told that they've been in contact with a number of different organizations and agencies trying to figure out what they're doing wrong and what they need to do better. Well, you better. I mean, too little, too late, but whatever. Once again, we just want to know when the power is going to come back on, or just a semblance of what happened and why it happened. Just explain to us what's going on like we're grown-ups. Yeah, it might make us mad. Yeah, we might want heads to roll down the road. But be straightforward and open and not. Don't do this Nashville strong crap. Nobody wants to hear that right now. What we want to hear is that you've employed more people to get on the line. And once again, I just want to reiterate for the 50th time. My predisposition was to defend the linemen. My predisposition was to defend the people that were on the ground. My predisposition Monday night into Tuesday was to say, hey, they're doing the best they can. They couldn't have imagined how bad this was. But then you start getting the lay of the land and you recognize, no, they could have imagined how bad this was because many different electrical companies did. MTE did. Columbia did. Cumberland, for their part, did. Duck River did. All of these others did. And it's on scale, right? They cover fewer customer. They have a smaller customer base, but they have a smaller number of people working the line, too. Yet in some cases, MTE, for example, they had more linemen staged and ready to go than NES, and that is inexcusable. And that leads us to wonder, why is all of this happening? Where was their focus? Is their focus not on their customers? And if the focus isn't on the customers, then where exactly is the focus? Well, that leads us to start peeling back the layers of the onion and figure out who this woman is and why she is president and CEO of Nashville Electric Service to begin with. And what is what are the priorities of the NES board? What are the priorities of the president and CEO? Exactly what have they been doing with their time when it's nice and sunny and 70 degrees outside to prepare for these types of things, if anything? And it doesn't seem like they've been doing much. I don't come on the radio station, believe it or not. I know I yell a lot, and I get a reputation for it. I don't come on here just to complain. I look at what we do as an amplification of what the city is going through, as an amplification of what the people are going through. And if in these times we cannot speak for the people who cannot speak up for themselves and not reach those positions of power or authority, then what the hell are we doing? And what I see is a lot of ivory tower looking down on the let them eat cake kind of crap. I mean, that's what that reminds me of. When I don't know this woman from Adam's House Cat, but when Teresa Broyles Applin says, Nashville strong, that's like let them eat cake. You're telling me you have zero clue what people are going through. And I wouldn't suggest that we live in a perfect world where the lights can go back on just like that, but I would suggest that you try to come across as you have feelings for these people and Nashville strong. What a load. But I don't come just to complain about these people because of their backgrounds or what there are individuals suffering, and I'll tell you, here's my fear. We had a fourth individual, and I first heard about it speaking to the mayor's office, and Ken Weaver's reporting on it. We have a fourth person in Davidson County that we now know has died as a direct or indirect result of the storm. That brings the numbers to, I don't know if Ken's listening back there or not. I think that brings the number to 13 or 14 people. 13 people.
Well, no, that'll be 14.
14 people statewide.
Yes, sir.
That have lost their lives. That's the fourth person in Davidson County, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
So my fear here, folks, I said it yesterday, that the state of Tennessee, we are the most giving, caring human beings on planet Earth. I believe that. And all I have to do, and I know it, and I've done it, and I've seen it, all I have to do is open up the airwaves and tell you folks, you fine people listening to this radio show, all I have to do is tell you there's someone out there in need. And do you understand the number of people that step forward and say, yes, I'll take care of that? We had a guy yesterday that said he needed firewood, and I had 20 people reach out to me within 5 minutes. I'm on it. I've got it. And not one single – the guy said he could pay for it, and every single person that reached out said, no, I've got firewood. I'll give him the firewood. I'm not worried about money. We are a giving people, and we take care of ourselves to a large degree, but we have to know that people want to be taken care of, and that's the other side of that coin, is that as giving and loving and caring a people as we are, we're also very independent, and we don't want to impose on others, and we are loath to ask for help as a society, as a South, as a state. Y'all know I'm telling you the truth. And what my fear is that with 90,000 people still without power and 5-6 days into this now, that we're going to find other people. We're going to find other people dead because they froze or because of carbon monoxide poisoning or for some other reason directly or indirectly related to the storm. Because they didn't know where to turn to and they didn't know what to do. And some of that, if all of this leads to where I think it's going to lead, some of that lays at the feet of Nashville Electric Service. Does it not? How inefficient have you been? Not during this storm, not now. Now your feet are on fire. Now I get it. You're doing the press conferences. Now you're issuing the statements. Now I'm talking about yesterday and the day before and the day before that. I'm talking about 2 weeks ago, when you got the same weather reports that we did. And I would hope that you would get more detail than we do about what's going to happen. And when we first started talking about this a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, what did I hear from you? We've got 200 linemen staged, and we're ready to go. 200 linemen for 460,000 customers? That's households. That's customer base. That's not people. 460,000? 200? Now, I don't know. We'll listen to the press conference together, but I would hope that the question was asked, do you believe now, looking back, that was adequate pre-staging? What decisions led to, what thought processes led to the decision to stage only 200 linemen? And then you got up to 700. And now you're up to over 1,000. This is obvious evidence that you recognize that that was a woefully inadequate figure to begin with. I am not trying to make the perfect the enemy of the good, but this is not good. You know what is the enemy of the good? The crappy, which is what we're dealing with. Well, share this thought from the CEO. Obviously, a lot of you have thoughts on this matter as well. We continue to break it down. 90,000 or so continue to be without power. Let's pray those folks get the help that they need. If you are in need, I want to prioritize you. Hit me up on the Super Text line. Hit me up in any fashion you can on the X machine, on Facebook, on the Super Text line at 615-737-9986, on my personal email. Hell, my cell phone number is on my Facebook page. You can call my cell phone. We'll get you help if you need it. Someone should. And we're here for it. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Thank you for being with us. We're obviously covering the aftermath of the winter storm that hit last weekend. We continue to cover that as our primary story. There are other stories going on around the state, around the nation, and around the globe, and we will continue to follow those as well. But this is our area of focus because there's people in need in our community, and we want to try to help them as best we can. James is a tow truck driver. Mike wants to talk about NES. Carl, John, and Paul. I'm going to get to each of you. Hang in there. I don't have the time right now. I'm going to share some of this message. It'll make you want to throw up. And, well, it did me. I don't know about you. It is from Teresa Boyes Applin, the CEO and president of Nashville Electric Service, and she decided to write this morning. Many of you are waking up to day number 5 without power, which is a significant hardship. It's our job at NES to keep the power on, and we will not stop until every household in Nashville has power again. This storm was unprecedented for Nashville and our country. Not true, by the way. Not true. 1994, 2014. So there's been plenty of ice storms. This storm was unprecedented for Nashville and our country, affecting almost half the U.S. Its icy layers caused widespread damage across our service area to transmission lines, substations, and distribution networks. At this storm's peak, 230,000 Nashvillians were without power. I think that was 230,000 households, by the way. So that's more.
Yes, sir.
That's more than 230 Nashvillians. That's customers, and that doesn't include, kids and, 4, 5, 6-person families. But anyway, the largest number ever. Today we have less than 90,000 homes remaining without electricity. NES has brought in partners from around the country to engage additional available qualified crews. We've quadrupled our workforce in a few days, from 200 to almost 1,000 line workers. 200 was a woefully inadequate figure to begin with, and they should have known that. From 9 states and across Tennessee. We welcome this assistance and are grateful for the help. We still have many days ahead before power is restored to every Nashville household, and we'll continue to provide frequent updates on individual neighborhoods via our website and social channels. We do expect power to be restored for thousands more households today and tomorrow. For many, power will not be restored through the weekend or longer. We are prioritizing large blocks of homes and moving as quickly as we can. The temperatures hovering above freezing make the work tedious and slow, but we are using every possible resource to restore power quickly and safely to all. Please take all safety precautions in finding alternative shelter over the coming days and take advantage of Metro resources for safetynashville.gov. So they're basically telling you to move somewhere else, to go somewhere else because you're not getting your power back anytime soon. I will share updates with you every day until we're on the other side of this crippling storm. We're seeing acts of selflessness, determination, and kindness all around us, and we are grateful to everyone for your partnership and understanding. That's the message from the CEO of Nashville Electric, Teresa Boyes Applin. Here's news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.